Parshas Chukas, Tavshin Pei Daled. We welcome everybody back to our weekly Nesivos Shalom share with a beautiful Toyamel. Wow, what Bika Chalom puts out for the volunteers, for those that come to the share every week. Not stam. Unbelievable. But this week, sometimes I like to say that we have a special lesson from the Nesivos Shalom. And this week I'm saying that we have a special lesson from the Nesivos Shalom, something very important, something for every person to keep in mind, to bear in mind, something to live with. And the pasuk says in our parsha, "Vayomer Hashem el Moshe." Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, v'el Aharon, and to Aaron too, "Ya'an lo ye'emantem bi lahakdisheni le'enei b'nei Yisrael." HaKadosh Baruch Hu had told Moshe Rabbeinu to talk to the rock. Talk to the rock and water will come out. You want water? I'll tell you how to get water. You talk to the rock and water is going to come out. As we know, Moshe Rabbeinu hit the rock twice and water came out. But Hashem said to Moshe, you didn't trust in me implicitly. You didn't trust in me completely. L'akdisheni le'nei b'nei Yisrael, to make a Kiddush Hashem to Klal Yisrael. So what did Hashem say? Hashem said, Lochein, therefore, lo yisaviu es hakahol hazeh el ha'oretz asher nosati lohem. Unbelievable. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, tremendous thing that's going on here. Moshe Rabbeinu took Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu was the leader who wanted so much to go into Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu told, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, because of the Mei Meriva, because of what happened over here, that we didn't create the ultimate Kiddush Hashem, therefore you will not be eligible to lead Klal Yisrael or to go into Eretz Yisrael. It happens to be, I'll just veer off a moment, whenever I'm in Eretz Yisrael, I actually think of this. People talk about the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, how fortunate we are to visit Eretz Yisrael, to be able to go there many times. But I think about this all the time, that Moshe Rabbeinu, what an opportunity we have when we go to Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu would have done anything to be able to take one step and go into Eretz Yisrael. And we just go, and we go back, and we go back, and we go back again. If every minute should be so much appreciated to understand. Moshe Rabbeinu did not want to go for just the physical beauty of Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to go for the ruchnius, for what's there, and that is still there, so much of it. And we have to keep that in mind, just as a side thing. So many Mefarshim speak at length about this very, very perplexing parsha in the Torah. What's going on over here? This whole inyan of the Mei Meriva. What exactly was the big chet over here? What did Moshe Rabbeinu do? What did he do that was so terrible, so wrong, that he got such a punishment that he could not go into Eretz Yisrael? First of all, right after Bnei Yisrael left Mitzrayim, they came to a place called Refidim. And the Torah tells us over there in Parshas B'Shalach, the Torah tells us that also they wanted water to drink. There was no water. And the Bnei Yisrael asked for water to drink. So Hashem commanded the Hikisa Vatzor. You want water? So you should hit the stone. Parshas B'Shalach. Hit the stone. And then the Torah tells us, hit the stone, v'yotzu mimenu mayim, the water will come out of it and they'll be able to drink water. It would be a nace after hitting the rock, and water would flow from the rock, and that's what happened. Water would flow from the rock, and Klal Yisrael would have what to drink. So the question should be apparent to everybody. What was so different back then? Back then, they left Mitzrayim. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu even hit the rock. He hit the rock, and there was water. But why was it okay to hit the rock then? Why now? Was it so devastating? Was it so that it's not a Kiddush Hashem? What happened? What changed from then? Also, what does it mean when the pasuk tells us, "Yana shelo yamantem bi," you didn't believe in me, lahakdisheni, to make a Kiddush Hashem? What does that mean? What is really the difference? Let me ask you a question. What would be the difference to you if someone spoke to a rock and water came out, or someone hit a rock? I don't know about you, but I'd be quite impressed if someone just hit a rock and water came out. I would understand very well that it's a huge miracle. It's an ace. Who could do such a thing? So why is it a lack of Kiddush Hashem? Like if you talk to a rock, you hit the rock, to me, it's really almost the same. And I would think, right, like we said, either one is really a tremendous nace. Either one is a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, where only HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do that. So either one is a Kiddush Hashem. Either one is so l'mayla miderach hateva that we would be so impressed. It would be a tremendous Kiddush Hashem either way. And then, of course, we have the ultimate question, why did Moshe hit the rock? Hashem said over here, talk to the rock. So over there, when they left Mitzrayim, Hashem said, hit the rock. Moshe hit the rock, water came out. Now, Hashem didn't say that. Hashem said, talk to the rock. V'dibartem el hasela. You should talk to the rock. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu go ahead and hit the rock? And not only did he hit the rock, but he hit it twice. The Torah tells us he hit it twice. So Moshe Rabbeinu definitely had some kind of cheshbon of what he was doing here. And it seems so too that this punishment of not being zoiche to bring Bnei Yisrael into Eretz Yisrael was a direct punishment for actually hitting the rock. So what's the correlation? What's the connection between hitting the rock and not being able to go into Eretz Yisrael? So the Nesivos Shalom answers with, as I said at the beginning of this year, an extremely, extremely important lesson, and one that every one of us has to think about and learn. It's a lesson in Emunah Ubitachon. And the Nesivos Shalom speaks, anybody who learns through Musa Svarim on Bitachon, learn through Shar Bitachon, Chayvus Alavavos, learn through Madregas Ha'adam, learn through the Beis HaLevi on Bitachon, and Baruch Hashem, I've had the opportunity over the last couple of years to really learn through those Svarim. And it all boils down to a couple of different themes and something that it's kedai to think about. When does a person have to do hishtadlus? Hashem could do everything. Hashem does everything. When is it that a person that you have to assert yourself to, that you have to do hishtadlus? So the answer, says in the Nesivos Shalom, is that your hishtadlus is in direct correlation to your level of emunah and bitachon that you have. In other words, if a person has absolute trust in Hashem, if you need something, you want something, you hope to get something, if a person has absolute trust in Hashem, that Hashem is going to take care of everything for you, then things happen without hishtadlus. If you have complete emunah and bitachon, you believe in Hashem implicitly, there's no one else, there's only HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He's going to do everything for me, then you actually do not need hishtadlus. You don't have to do anything. You simply do nothing. But if you are somewhat lacking, like most people are somewhat lacking in that complete level of bitachon, then you need to do some hishtadlus in order to bring a Yeshua. A person needs a Yeshua. You're not completely trusting in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not so many people are on that elevated level. So you have to do some hishtadlus. And the less one believes, the more hishtadlus, the more that you need to work, the more that you need to do to bring about the Yeshua. I know Rabbi Bro is going to be very happy. I'm going to tell you over a bas ayin. It's not the Yurtzai now. You're Beis Kislev. We have a special thing over here. But the bas ayin in his Sefer on Parshas Bahar says b'shem the Zoyar on the pasuk of B'tach B'Hashem, pasuk in Tehillim, B'tach B'Hashem v'asei toiv, Shechon Eretz Re'ei Emunah. That's a pasuk in Tehillim. And he says on that pasuk that the Iker Koyach of being Zoiche to Eretz Yisrael, we want to know today, unfortunately, there's a war in Eretz Yisrael. What is the ultimate thing that gives us the koyach to live and to be in Eretz Yisrael? That's through Midas HaBitachon. And that is what the pasuk is saying. Bitach Hashem, have bitachon in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, va'asei toiv, and do good, and then Shechon Eretz. If you have bitachon in Hashem, and your trust is in Hashem and not in everything else, and not in an army, and not in this, not in that, and not in every other thing that you think gives us a right to live in Eretz Yisrael, you have complete bitachon. Tells us B'tach Hashem, v'asei toiv, Shechon Eretz. You'll be able to live. You'll be zoicha to Eretz Yisrael and to live there. And the more bitachon we have, the more securely we will live in Eretz Yisrael. He brings a raya from that pasuk. And with this in mind, we could understand all the questions that we had about the Mei Meriva. Speaking to the rock, Moshe Rabbeinu speaking to the rock, that meant bitachon with no hishtadlus. You're just asking. You talk to the rock, you're talking to Hashem, right? You talk to Hashem, and Hashem can do everything. You're not doing any action with your hands. You're just talking, you're requesting from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please bring me tefillah. That's what a person has to do. I'm praying to you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and in this case, it's to bring water from the rock. Moshe Rabbeinu, says the Nesivos Shalom, Moshe Rabbeinu felt that Bnei Yisrael were not quite on that level of bitachon at this time. So they need some hishtadlus, and you see how it's all coming together. What we said about hishtadlus, Moshe Rabbeinu certainly knew that. And Moshe Rabbeinu was thinking that they're not on that level now. So we need some hishtadlus. So talking and asking is not enough. So Moshe Rabbeinu went ahead and he hit the rock, and he knew, just to show how everything was so exact, Moshe Rabbeinu knew they were not on that level, and not only weren't they on that level, but they were on a level that you have to hit the rock twice. It was done with a cheshbon. You had to do more hishtadlus. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu said, Shimu not Moiriv. Moshe Rabbeinu felt that they were in a way a bit rebellious people because they were a bit weak in bitachon at that time. So we asked the question, what about at Refidim? What about when they left Mitzrayim? When they left Mitzrayim, the commandment was still to hit the rock. So Moshe Rabbeinu made a kal v'chomer. He said if the tzivui was to hit the rock right after they left Mitzrayim, when they didn't have the Averis yet of the Midbar, of the Egel, of the Meraglim, so Moshe Rabbeinu made a kal v'chomer to himself. If the commandment was to hit the rock when they left Mitzrayim, now it must be certainly after the Chatoim of the Midbar to hit the rock. But says in Nesivos Shalom, what Hashem wanted to teach us at this point, though, was that even when we are not on the level, even when we're not perfect, even when we're not on the high level that we hope to be on, we're not so perfect, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to be close to Him. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to lift up our bitachon before going into Eretz Yisrael, because the zchus that keeps us in Eretz Yisrael and that will be able to be in Eretz Yisrael is Midas HaBitachon. So Hashem wanted Moshe, I know Klal Yisrael is not so perfect right now. I know they had Chatoim in the Midbar, but I want you to learn what bitachon is. I want you to understand that you can talk to the rock, that's the kind of bitachon you're going to need to go further, to go into Eretz Yisrael, to stay in Eretz Yisrael. And that's the lesson that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to teach to Moshe Rabbeinu and to Klal Yisrael. And we really have to learn that lesson. Implicit bitachon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You trust in Hashem that He will do everything and it will get done. And it will happen. Tonight to learn somebody's in Yonam of bitachon. We hope everybody will have time to do that. But that is the beautiful lesson about emunah and bitachon from this week's parsha.